The ambulance down in the valley. 'Twas a dangerous cliff, as they freely confessed, though to walk near its crest was so pleasant. But over its terrible edge there had slipped a duke, and full many a peasant. So the people said something would have to be done, but their projects did not at all tally. Some said, put a fence round the edge of the cliff. Some said, put an ambulance down in the valley. But the cry for the ambulance carried the day, for it spread through the neighboring city. A fence may be useful or not, it is true, but each heart became brimful of pity for those who slipped over the dangerous cliff. The dwellers in highway, street, and alley gave pounds, they gave pence, but not to put up a fence, but an ambulance down in the valley. For the cliff is all right if you're careful, they said, and if folks even slip and are dropping, it isn't the slipping that hurts them so much as the shock down below when they're stopping. So day after day, as these missteps occurred, quick forth would these rescuers sally to pick up the victims who fell off the cliff with their ambulance down in the valley. Said one to his peers, "It's a marvel to me that you give so much greater attention to repairing results than to stopping the cause, when you'd much better aim at prevention. Let us stop at its source all this mischief," cried he. "Come, neighbors and friends, let us rally. If the cliff we will fence, we might almost dispense with the ambulance down in the valley." "Oh, he's a fanatic," the others rejoined. "Dispense with the ambulance? Never. He'd dispense with all charities too, if he could. A man's a man with misfortune to sever? No, we'll support them forever. Aren't we picking up folks just as fast as they fall? And shall this man dictate to us? Shall he? Why should people of sense stop to put up a fence while the ambulance works in the valley?" So they strengthen the ambulance day after day and give more each year without measure to provide for those who slip over the cliff, and their misfortune they view with great pleasure. To rescue the fallen with a purse, voice, and pen, and while other philanthropists do, they will each day, as misfortunes descend, send the ambulance up the road too. So the town people met at the top of the cliff. The wise and persuasive were hardly and stiff. To outwit them was quite an endeavor. For each year those fooled to an ambulance came, as the people below looked on in terrible shame. But they would not do more than provide for the slips. Some went over and some even met their demise. The town doctor was too busy to take time to reflect, and the paramedics were seen as heroes to protect. The newspapers said, "It's in the nature of things." And as a result, the public felt a lift of hope. As if their efforts were enough, this is the decision they took in the town. After each rescue, they said, "We can't cope. We are heroes, but the need never slows down, because those who slip are seen as weaker nor friends." But the white jackets and red sirens helped him down. The ambulance does its best in the sad end. The fence was never rebuilt, because there was no one to rally about the dangers of relying on the ambulance down in the valley. But a sensible few who are practical too will not bear with such nonsense much longer, will not budge from their usual station. They believe that if people should slip and are dropping, their part is to deal with the situation. They believe that prevention is better than cure, and their party keeps steadily growing. Yes, it's true that their numbers are not yet large enough, but someday they'll be strong and quite rally. Then we'll cease to put faith in the ambulance down and build a strong fence on the cliff up above as a plan for the safety of all. Now, this scenario, the ambulance down in the valley, is based on the 1895 poem by Joseph Malins. It reflects the ongoing philosophical tension between modern medicine and the wellness movement. I hope you've grasped the message in the poem. And my advice is be cautious about blindly embracing everything taught by so-called public health advisors, lest you perish in ignorance. Watch out, my friends. QFM is here to tell you the truth, for we live in a political world where deception and lies have sadly become the norm in society.